Hello everyone, welcome back to Daska Discusses. Well, today what are we going to be talking about? Well, we're going to be talking about a few things. One, we're going to be talking about the new, how do you put this, sequel, as you can see, Candyman. Now, I do remember the original one from back in 1992, and I'll tell you what, I was pretty young at the time, and that movie was pretty creepy. It was pretty scary. So I do remember that. But that's when I first watched it, right? So the first time I saw Candyman as a kid, I'm like, okay, this is scary. However, the whole concept of, repeating his name 5 times in the mirror and then he appears and kills you, etc. In the old 1990s movie, it was quite scary. But then when I rewatched it years later, and just recently, actually, probably last year, and I found it to be a bit slow, dull, boring, and not that scary at all. So, look, that's my opinion on the original one. We're here to talk about this remake, sequel, reboot, whatever you want to call it. They call it a sequel to the horror film Candyman that returns to the now gentrified Chicago neighborhood where the legend began, which is, what's the name of that place? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The interesting thing about this is that, one, I won't say any spoilers, but it's difficult to, the writers, we've got Jordan Peele, which is an interesting one as well. The writer of Get Out, director of Get Out, and Us as well, so it does have that kind of feel about it, like in terms of the ideologies of race in it as well. Look, how do I put this? The cast, we've got the guy playing as Anthony McCoy, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. He actually plays a really good role. His girlfriend, Brianna Cartwright, Tiana Paris is okay. And then the rest, Vanessa Williams is in it for a short amount of time. There is this guy here, Carl Clemens Hopkins as Jamison, plays a really good role. What I found about it was this, is that, look, in terms of how the film starts and the cinematography and everything. Well, how the film starts, I mean, you've got this whole concept of this artist, this guy here, who needs inspiration for a certain thing, and he comes across the story of Candyman, and he uses that to inspire him to do some artwork. Now, what's interesting about it is that you find out the history of Candyman and how it actually came about through this other guy that he meets. There is a couple of flashbacks which really do help the story, right? And there is, in the first half of this film, some genuine creepy, not scary, but moments where you're like, okay, cool, the tension is pretty high in this film, right? So yeah, let me just adjust my audio here. The one problem though, guys, is that the first half of the film is building up to Candyman and how he comes about and how he gets unleashed, right? Now, the concept of that, the guy making the artwork, he's made this mirror and, it's just art. It's all about art. What I find is that the protagonist and his, struggle into creating this art as well is interesting, but the actual concept and story of the Candyman, they go through with an interesting way of telling you the story through these shadow puppets or these puppetry kind of cutscenes, which are interesting as well. So you find that the way they tell you the backstory is interesting, but it kind of fails in a few ways. Why? I just think that the first half of the film does really work well, and it does set you up for what could be a really interesting second half and climax of the film, but it's just, from what I could gather, the trailer looked really good, but the actual film itself, after halfway through, it does fall into this cliched, how do I put this? I don't know what was better, this one or the original one. I mean, the original one had some good stuff on merit, but I just found it to be really slow. The second half of the film is just slow, and I'm not giving away spoilers, but what happens to our protagonist with certain things, it just doesn't work. And it's unfortunate that it just ends the way it does, and it's just in this weird, confusing. It's like this film doesn't really know what it wants to be. Does it want to be a drama? Does it want to be a horror? I don't know. But anyway, look, that's my thing. Now, in terms of a rating for it, out of 10, I would have to say that I would definitely be looking at giving it I'm going to say it, guys. Look, a 6 out of 10. Yep, you heard it. Now, it's not because the IMDb rating's a 6 out of 10. Let's look at the Rotten Tomatoes rating as well for Candyman. Now, look at that. Look at that. Can you believe that? Are you kidding? Hang on one sec. 84%. Wow. Can't reach that page. Well, there you go. That's hilarious, isn't it? I wouldn't go with 84%. I'd seriously sticking with the IMDb rating. I'm definitely giving it a 6 out of 10 for that. It just, look, unless you're a huge fan of the original, I would stay away from it because it wasn't actually that enjoyable. The first half it was really building up to something, but then the second half just really fails and becomes a cliched kind of weird amalgamation of drama, horror, which doesn't work, and then the ending payoff, which just doesn't work either. That is my thing for Candyman. That is a 6 out of 10 for me. I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok these days. Doing some other stuff with that. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next episode or stream of Dasker Discusses. Catch ya later.